Please always work. All these interesting notions of making YouTube empires off of faceless streams. So, what's the magic secret there? How do you do that? Let them know. Do you do something like this? Just basically, whenever I see some of the really highly watched streams, it's usually nothing interesting to me. I don't know what in the world. Like sometimes I can't even figure out what in the world's going on at the time on certain streams. One time I turned the stream on, this is exactly what I saw. It was something where somebody was doing something way out there. Something was going on. Nobody's talking about anything. And you're wondering, well, what in the world is this stream about? How does this have 100,000 viewers and 100,000? What are people just completely empty-headed that they're just entertained by nothingness? Well, I guess it's not a matter of being empty-headed. It's maybe a matter of maybe less chaos in your face. I can understand that. I can understand that for sure. I hope that the audio is coming up fairly clearly. It's so ridiculously loud in my ear that I really don't even want to talk. But it's appropriate for the leveling of the broadcast itself. So I will keep things pretty much about this level here. And my microphone's condenser, I'm finding out a lot more about microphones and what I'm actually using. It is some kind of what do you I can't remember the name, dialectic, something like that. It's dial meaning meaning two way or something like that. So it's basically taking the microphone. I mean, it's taking the sound basically from the very front of the mic and a little bit from the sides as well. You can actually sing right through the side of this thing. So it's able to pick up from here, from here, from here, from here, from here, from here, from here. This is a pretty cool microphone. In fact, if I talk directly into the front face of it, it gets really low-ended like this. Oh, yeah. So, we can probably come up with a decent mediation. Fortunately, there is going to be microphone noise. I see. There's a little teeny bar in the middle of this side piece here. Some of us will get lost from certain spots there. But I do think that there is a little muffler in there for P's. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, there's some kind of a little muffler in there. It's sort of built in. Pop, 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 pop. So I don't know what's going on out there, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to start a $1 million empire on YouTube with no face. I love the claim. The fact of the matter is well, why put yourself in a position where you always have to be there forever? I mean, we're not going to live forever. We all know that. So why don't we just make something that's going to actually just, who knows what, just kind of be rewatched for whatever reason it may be. I don't know why anybody would rewatch this stream. Perhaps I need to work on something. But right now, I'm in no motivation to do anything that's extremely significant with this particular uh, stream right now. At this point in time, there's no way for me to actually get to a monetization or anything like that. So I'm not trying for ultimate views and ultimate subscribers and ultimate watch time. That stuff can basically just go down a drain because there's no way that we're going to catch up anytime soon for that kind of thing. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to work on my professionalism, my backgrounds, the ideas, and the main constructional proportion of this. Now, the only reason that I'm actually on here live is because I've gone through a few other places and I've done my streams over there. So I'm done. I'm done with them over there. So I thought, well, I better come back over here and just at least bring some kind of a little resonance presence. Because, there's most of the subscriber base was here. And if I want to be able to reach them, I still need to be able to broadcast. I still have to broadcast a little bit over here. I'm slowly working to transfer just my basic performance to the other platform. I know now that there's a lot of conflict between the two platforms, and so I'm not going to cause fighting or mischief or anything like that between the two any more than I already have. But it was kind of interesting to find out that YouTube is in there. You guys are in there. I know I've sensed some of your activities now. I went over to this other place and I posted up a few things, and suddenly there were some conflicts or something going on, and the other place told me, "Hey, YouTube's freaking out right now about blah 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 blah. We can't do specific things. We can't just grab the archives from the tube and just stick them over here, and we're having a problem." And it turns out that they used to have a sync that would sync all the videos over to the other platforms for you, and people were utilizing that nice and wonderfully. I don't know how that didn't help things take off, but apparently YouTube waged a war against it because they really want all of our material that bad. And that's what I found out about YouTube. I know your weak points. You need us. Yes, you do. Actually, the truth is they probably just need what we've already done. They probably don't need us anymore. We're probably even harming things at this point. I mean, it is possible for us to harm our channels and then suddenly see the big drop down in scoring. But, oh well. Depends on what you have going for you all around. And if you have that extra time and money to do something like a broadcast or like a public access show on the side, well, then more power to you. Go for it. In this case, what I'm doing now is keeping a podcast kind of going on for myself and for the subscribers, for the followers, and for the people. Just I really mean to say people, each and every person. I have friends out there that have subscribed, and I'm saying hello to them now. What's up? Cheers. Cling, cling, cling. Hello, friends. And your clicking that button was really, really cool. That was really cool of you. And I will do the same if I find you out there on YouTube or on some other thing. I will make sure I do the same thing back because you guys are awesome. So I hope everybody's been having a good, awesome time and month. It's been rainy. It's been cold-ish. It got very cold tonight. It was going into a deep freeze there, and we had to kick the heater up another notch. So it's time to kick those heaters up and do another notch. And sometimes that rain comes and it brings a lot of warmth and kind of shaves off those super freezing temperatures. It brings it just up a little bit so that So Earth kind of has its way of saying, "Wow, it's cold around here. Let's throw a little bit of that rain in there. Water's a little bit less freezing than just plain freeze temperature." So it does actually bring humidity comes out, starts to bring up the temperatures a little bit. So if your heater's blasting away, as soon as the rain hits, your heat's going to start rising real quick, right? That's why it's happening. So if you just trust in the good old planet once in a while, just go ahead and trust in the good old planet. It's there to help us out sometimes, but not too much trust, of course, because it can go into a deep freeze at the same time. The planet has some pretty harsh, realities to it. I think we all know that. So we hope everybody's having a groovy night out there. That's for sure. We don't have much radio for today. We did a broadcast a little while ago on our other station, and it was fun. I watched. I turned on the Looney Tunes, and I did a few impressions and carried some cartoons through, and did some voiceovers, and it was a riot. It was a lot of fun. So that's one of the things I will. I actually put together a stream for the other place that's specifically focused on just voice over classic film cartoons and classic cartoons. And sometimes they're just impressions. So I'm still making up skits. So I did a skit over there on the other place. I did a skit where I just did a shadow show, and I had bugs come up. We did Waikiki Rabbit, a little bit of Waikiki Rabbit. Had to meet the little Islander guys, and they were sitting there trying to cook shoes and cook hairballs and grass, and they were getting really tired of eating sand and grass. And then they find bugs walking up, and lo and behold, they find a rabbit. So they were excited, get excited. All of a sudden, they're like bouncing around. We're gonna have some rabbit. So we kind of did. We did finger puppets to do the shadows, and just to give it our own animation. So we created our own animation there, basically out of the cartoon. And I never actually pulled that up to look at it. I just did that all out of memory. And that's the kind of stuff that I can pull off once in a while and just stick to impressions. Did another stream that was a big impression stream. And most of them that I'm going to be doing over there are going to be impression stream. It's kind of a consistency thing. So this is the shot, except we do it with HD, 14, whatever, high res. And it looks really widescreen. I mean, you can see just this huge scope. But there's a little bit of a problem on the other website. The video player doesn't seem to be quite as, it seems to be stuck kind of still in a little bit of a past status where you see the circle pop up and running around a cycle like this, kind of from Twitch, like in Twitch. Well, YouTube seems to have gotten rid of a lot of that. They've never had any problem at this point broadcasting any of the types of screens that we've used. I've never needed to adjust a bit rate for YouTube, but I wonder if I did need to. But because I never really truly knew for sure, I don't know if that was a mistake or not. So it's very possible it was a mistake. I was also listening to a little bit of preaching today. I don't usually ever do that. I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to advertise any preaching like that or anything. But the pastor had some really interesting point, and he was really ironically on target because he was talking about something that pertained to my life that had just happened. And it was also talking about how something about his son in the desert, and when his son was in the desert wandering around by himself and giving up hope and losing hope, suddenly he has a spiritual experience, and it finds out that it's the Lord. The Lord is telling him you have to come to understanding the belief that maybe a lot of these things in your life have come because you haven't been believing. So of course, he goes on, he tries to kind of start to tell you and convince you that you need to believe in a specific religion. That's up to everybody and their own religion to believe. But I think that the bottom line is that there's a higher power that we all believe in. Some of us, most of us. And when we are alone in the desert, in other words, like say when I'm here and I'm lost and I don't know what I'm going to do next or where my life's going, or a lot of problems that we all see happening, it's like, well, there are things we may not be paying attention to from our belief system, which kind of address some of these things, and they give us answers. So whoever you read or whoever you look to as a religious factor, I think they all kind of have a similarity in that sense. In some senses, they all preach, that we're loved, we are cared about, and in the times of the biggest crises, that's when we're very much loved and very much being paid attention to. And I think we all have felt that. And then we go right back to our lives again, and that's the healing of our loving heavenly loves. So that was just an interesting thing that happened today. It was nothing to go on about preaching about or anything like that. But it was interesting to have that kind of an awakening and experience for myself because I normally don't. And I've been seeking some answers in some ways. I don't mind turning to those who have answers. I don't always follow anything. I don't always listen and agree that what everybody's answer is the right answer, but I definitely think that there are great answers to be considered, and that's where I come from. So, however you want to view me, if I'm Mr. Heathen to you, then okay, fine. But that's kind of not what I think I really. I've always been a very big connection with the outer limits, but I've never been raised a particular any particular kind of religions or anything like that. My religion is basically good fellowship, good coffee, and a peaceful, tranquil transitioning from life to later life. So that's where I come from, man. That's where I come from. We had quite a feud last week, YouTube and I, and I don't know if it was misplaced, of course, but there has been some things I think we all need to reflect on. There's been a lot of stuff that has been happening that we're all aware of, such as complete manipulation of people's lives through the obvious controllability that you have on some of us, and you know instead of certain things that could have helped us to thrive and maybe find a better answer for what we do, we were really left in the dark and left to not know what to do, left to misunderstand. I think I have more fun on YouTube when I'm just looking for like girls and just want to talk to girls and maybe find a date. I have a lot more fun doing that, which I rarely do, but that's it's just fun. It's fun. I think it's probably the better thing for you to do on YouTube. Just look for a date and we're gonna get out of your room, man. So good luck to everybody with all those things. Um, we're back to this. We're back to this whole, 0, 0, 0 reading thing, and we just constantly stare at the zeros. And we know that there are people out there, but because you don't see them, it's very hard to, have any kind of uh, I think, interaction or anything like that, especially when they're trying to cut you off and not let you have any reaction with people as much as they can. But the funny thing is that we still continue to have our interactions. We have a chat here, and I don't know what I just threw in there. Something. Oh crap! Sorry about that. Here, I can delete that. I don't. I know you guys aren't going to want me to do that, so I can delete that. Let's just do it. Like I said, I'm not trying to cause more problems. The only thing is that I've got to work for myself here. I've got to work to make my life happen. If nobody else is going to care, I've got to do something on my own. It's up to me. It's up to every one of you to do that. Nobody is coming to your aid. Nobody's coming to your rescue in this desert of a YouTube environment for us small tubers who just can't seem to get our heads up over the water due to whatever it is. I've invented a lot of cool things. I've ran streams for hours. You'd think that I'd be paid more than PewDiePie. I've created more, I've taught more, done more, I've lived longer. How come I'm paid so nothing? Zip, zero. But yet PewDiePie's making billions for just being a him and just being himself and staring at his face and his wall or ceiling every time you go onto the stream. I don't know what's going on. Why are we giving so much imbalance to the force there? PewDiePie probably feels like a dick because he's gotten so much freaking money and nobody here, everybody's going poor all over the world. Poor PewDiePie probably feels like an ass. But I don't think he is. I think he's just very lucky. Maybe he's the right race. Maybe he's just lucked out and was, attractive, blue-eyed, cute young guy. Well, good for you, man. So I was an attractive, young, decent-looking, brown-eyed guy. I'm talking about kind of hazelnut. Eyes are kind of hazelish. They kind of get lighter when the light hits them. So I don't know. I mean, why only unfairness? Why is it that the hard workers are just slammed to nothing and then we just go and pay some kid, let's just give this random kid billions of dollars? And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But rather than be angry or jealous or anything like that doesn't get anything accomplished, is I think that we just have to find our own worlds. So I have to find where I'm going to be fortunate because other people will allow me to be fortunate like I've earned to be. Otherwise, people will manipulate me to nothing and disregard my existence, period, just because I was able to do something they couldn't. So rather than learn from me, everybody wants to just, erase us and push us off into a dark corner and say, hey, that never existed. Don't pay any attention to that. Nobody put together a little toy robot like that. Nobody by the name of Martinez could have done anything like that, or Rodriguez. Nobody could have done anything like that. Well, believe it or not, they did. They did. Rodriguez did this. Rodriguez put together a robot. And guess what? Gomez is doing the same thing. And you know who else is doing something really cool? He's making a jet plane with robotics. His name's Sanchez. So I don't think it's a very far-fetched thing for people to start understanding and maybe even getting through their noggin that we actually do program. We have a very good mind for program. We have a very good mind for business. We have a very good mind for successful layouts. We have good ideas. But where's everybody listening? Where's everybody doing something about that and sharing and making something happen where we can all create something that's going to be awesome? Like, say, Star Wars. Star Wars, you look at the cast in Star Wars, you see all kinds of easy. There's a Martinez, look, there's a Vasquez, look at that. So, hey, what do you know? This new president-elect is talking a lot of garbage about Latino people, but, well, we can understand when people aren't, legally supposed to come to another country. That's understandable. But when there's a problem and they're refugee, then if you don't do something to help them, well, then you're just basically an asshole. And you're going to blame people who are already here when their grandparents or great-grandparents migrated up here when it was a free country to be able to come and migrate to, as all people migrated to the country and became migrants. So where is everybody? How come nobody's listening to this? Huh? Are they cutting us off again? Are they cutting it all? You don't have access to this feature. I love all of our cold-blooded messages. You don't have access to that feature. Yeah, well, why do I have access to frickin' anything at all on here then? You dick. Dick is a name, so I'm going to go ahead and just say that. I'm not going to worry about that as a slur. Jesus, where is everybody? Pathetic nuggets. Where the fuck is everybody? Here's a growly face for you. It's about how YouTube looks to me right now. They don't want to put up a decent freaking message or a decent picture and be decent people. They want to be freaking assholes. So you know what? Fine. Treat you like an asshole then. No, stay on the page. I want to keep bitching at people. This is fun. So I don't know what's going on with this damn thing. I think they probably turned it off because it pissed them off good enough, which is fine with me. So you know what? Fuck it. I hope you guys